Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and today we're doing Stock Market Weekly Recap number 30 ever in history, guys. We're looking at how the markets did this week. We're looking at some of the stocks that went up and down the most this week. We're looking at some of the biggest news stories that happened this week, and what are we looking at for next week? We're going to discuss all that, guys. Let's go ahead and get right into this. So the Dow Jones this week was down 0.86%. We had the NASDAQ down 1.17%. And then we had the S&P 500 down 0.61%, guys. Not the best week for the markets. As far as stocks that moved up the most this week, look at RH went up over 45% this week, guys. We talked about this one earlier in the week. Holy smokes, what a week for a stock there. Frontline went up almost 14% this week. We had Cabela's, one of my greatest investments ever from probably 2011, 2012 until around 2014. This one went up over 13% this week. And GoPro went up 14% this week, guys. I've been waiting so long just to put GoPro on the list, and I finally got my chance to put it on the list. What do you know? As far as downside movers this week, we had Trivago down almost 30%. Holy smokes, what a horrible week for Trivago. Universal Insurance Holdings, that one went down over 17% this week. We had Bravo Brio Restaurants. This one went down almost 19% this week, guys. So that's what we had as far as the markets went. Stocks that went up and down the most. Let me know if there was any huge movers this week that you guys were tracking up or down, or I'd love to hear in that comment section. Now, as for stories that caught my attention this week, the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. Hurricane Irma is now coming in, about to hit Florida. My thoughts have just been around that. Not that it's really going to affect the markets in general huge. Just, I mean, you know, just being an American and seeing my, country get hit by these hurricanes is awful. Seeing people's entire cities almost wrecked. It's awful. And I know we got a lot of subscribers out in Houston, a lot of subscribers from Florida. So, our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. And I hope Irma is nothing as bad as, what they had in Houston with Harvey, guys. So that's what we have there. As far as things affecting the market, North Korea, once again. Now, this was kind of, they didn't get as much media attention this week, but now the Trump administration is readying a package of diplomatic and military moves against North Korea, including cyber attacks and increased surveillance and intelligence operations after the nation's 6th and largest nuclear test. Basically, North Korea is just out of control. They launched a missile that flew over Japan about a week ago. They launched or they tested another nuclear bomb that North Korea claims it was a hydrogen bomb, and this bomb is said to be anywhere between 4 and 16 times more powerful than anything the North had set off in the past, and far more destructive than any bomb that's ever been actually launched in a city or anything like that, guys. So it's troubling. That's really the North Korea situation is the only thing I see negatively affecting the markets in a huge way in the short term, in my opinion, out there. That's the only potential situation. If an actual war breaks out and then they start trying to fly missiles over to South Korea and it just becomes a mess, guys, that's really the only thing in the short term, at least, that I feel like would have the markets go down in a drastic reason, which is the reason I'm paying such close attention to that North Korea situation, because it's just amping up. It's just getting a little closer with every test they do. They're supposed to possibly do another test this week, guys. I don't know. I don't see this ending well. Let's just put it that way. As far as other stories we had this week, Fitbit shares are up more than 11%. Fitbit had a very good week this week. So basically, the reason that stock went up so much is it announced a partnership with Dexcom, which would introduce glucose monitoring on the Ionic smartwatch. So Fitbit's new smartwatch they're coming out with, this is going to actually be able to read your blood sugar levels in that new Fitbit watch. So interesting stuff. Does that mean that, everybody goes out and buys Fitbits that have diabetes? I don't know, at the end of the day. But I'll tell you, it's good news for a stock that honestly needs some good news, because that company is just, their revenues are just going down massively. There's just nothing really good about that company right now. That was finally a good story, and that's honestly the only good story to come out of that stock in probably over a year. So, know, interesting, and maybe this could be a game changer. The stock has been beaten down. I mean, it was a $5 stock. I think it's a $6 stock now. You know, this has just been a stock that has just been hammered. I still remember it was just yesterday. I feel like it was like 50 bucks a share, guys. Things change fast. Another story that caught my attention this week was Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, you know, I'm not, as far as me caring about it so much, I don't care about it a ton, but so many people care about Bitcoin, so I track Bitcoin. So Bitcoin this week had a little bit of a tough week because there's talk about the Chinese banning cryptocurrencies and banning all exchanges. So if there's no exchange, if you can't exchange it in China, then what's the real worth there? It might just outlaw Bitcoin and generally just cryptocurrencies in general. So very interesting to pay attention to there. If China does something, China does it all the way. We got to realize that they don't do things like halfway. Like anybody that's been invested in China and actually had money in China like I have with Wynn Resorts, you see when the Chinese government wants to do something, when they want to clamp down on something, they get it done. They don't mess around, guys. I remember when they wanted to crack down on some of the corruption and whatnot that was going in Macau, like the numbers just got awful like overnight. Not just because they got rid of the corruption almost overnight, but because they scared away a lot of people that just didn't want to get caught up into that, guys. So when the Chinese government does something, they do it all the way. And you know, if they ban Bitcoin, if they ban cryptocurrencies in general, it's gonna be that's a bad thing any way that you look at it for Bitcoin and for cryptocurrencies. So we'll see what happens there. You know, they're just evaluating it, and I think they're trying to get rid of a lot of the scam penny stocks, I like to call it. There's a lot of scam penny stocks out there and whatnot, and a lot of made up cryptocurrencies that people just like put on the web and like, oh, put money into this and you get some coins or whatever, and it's like some cryptocurrency that's really not even a cryptocurrency at the end of the day. But people are so gullible right now, and they see the way these cryptocurrencies rise so fast, they just throw money in some of these, without even doing any research on if that's like a legit one or not a legit one, and they skyrocket or something, and then somebody's on the other end getting that money, and there's really no cryptocurrency behind it in some of these situations, guys. So beware of that. If you're anybody out there, like, make sure if you're actually buying a cryptocurrency of some kind, make sure it's like a legit one at the end of the day. Don't just hear from some friend, oh yeah, just put your money in here, you get 100 coins of such and such. Like, research it, guys. As far as next week goes, the only story I'm paying attention to next week is Apple. Apple, they're going to have their big event. They're going to launch the new iPhones, a new Apple Watch, and maybe some other products, but generally we're talking about the iPhone and the new Apple Watch. My eyes are on that. Everybody's eyes are on that because, you're affected, like I always say, you're affected by Apple one way or another. Either you're a customer of them, you're an investor of them through your 401k, or directly an investor of them, or you're probably invested in a chip supplier or multiple chip suppliers that do business with Apple, or maybe you're invested in some type of app that goes through iPhones and iPads like Snapchat or a Facebook or something. Like, almost everybody out there is affected by Apple in some kind of way, so we should all be paying attention to that and seeing what type of news publicity that gets. Is it positive, is it negative, and all that good stuff, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this week. That is about it. Look forward to next week. As far as anything else, not too much. Check out my 11-part stock market mastery investing course, linked in that description if you want to check out that. If you just came across this channel, you may want to subscribe. We talk personal finance, we talk entrepreneurship. I'm an actual business owner. I give away so many business tips. We talk stock market investing. Could you tell I'm a little sick? Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.